The first early reviews of the new Star Wars movie, The Mandalorian and Grogu, are in, and, well, yeah, as predicted, it's not looking great. As expected, in fact, it's looking a little bit underwhelming, I would say. This article is from Variety. The Mandalorian and Grogu gets divided first reactions, from a thrilling adventure to one of the weakest Star Wars movies and a snooze fest. A snooze fest. Oh dear. As for being one of the weakest Star Wars movies, I wonder what they're comparing it to there. I actually maintain that Solo, a Star Wars story, it wasn't that bad. I actually rewatched it recently enough. That was only the second time that I watched the film, and I liked it a little bit more than the first time I watched it. I didn't think it was that bad. Personally, I thought it was a stronger film than The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. It says Star Wars has officially returned to the big screen courtesy of The Mandalorian and Grogu, and members of the film press are calling the franchise's comeback a thrilling adventure, a perfect summer movie, and a lot of fun, although overall reactions are divided. Now, my prediction was that the film was going to feel like basically a big 2-hour episode of the Mandalorian TV show. And it seems that my prediction may have been on the money there, because it says here, more mixed reactions came courtesy of IO9's Jermaine Lussier, who said the movie feels like a longer, bigger episode of the show it's based on. Yeah, that's pretty much what I expected. It's what it looks like. It says, writing, it has one or two standout scenes, but it feels much more interested in developing the story to new locations with new creatures than the characters. Enjoyed some of it, left frustrated by the rest. Yeah, so not a completely negative review there, but not a glowing one either. So it feels, again, sort of middle of the road. Here it says, one of the weakest Star Wars movies, reporter Jonathan Sim wrote. An emotionless, predictable experience that doesn't push Din Djarin anywhere interesting. Dull, unexciting fight scenes, just CGI monsters, action figures mashed together. Oh dear. A long, colourless, made-for-TV movie. Yeah, actually, I think this would have worked better as a TV movie. And I said this when the early trailers came out for this film, which was that given the amount of Star Wars TV series there's been recently, because there's been a lot of Star Wars TV series, if you saw the trailer for The Mandalorian and Grogu, you mightn't immediately think that it was a trailer for a film. You might think that it was a trailer for a new Star Wars TV series called The Mandalorian and Grogu. You might think it was basically The Mandalorian Season 4. And maybe doing a fourth season of the show could have been better, actually, than doing a movie based on the show. So again, there's just something not particularly special about the concept of making a Mandalorian movie. The Mandalorian TV show has its own dedicated fan base within the larger Star Wars fan base. So I think if you're not really a Mando fan, you might not feel quite as strongly about this one as you would when compared to, say, a more traditional Star Wars story. Now, on Twitter, Eric Davis of Fandango said, Star Wars is back on the big screen, and The Mandalorian and Grogu is a thrilling adventure full of big fights, gnarly creatures, and plenty of adorable Grogu moments. It's less about the lore and more a fun, freaky romp across the galaxy. I really dug that about it. He praised the musical score as well. And he says, it reminded me of how fun Star Wars can be when it stops worrying about canon homework and just cuts loose. Treat it as a pulpy Saturday matinee ride and you'll have a blast. Well, see, to me, that doesn't sound great. It sounds more like, kind of a switch your brain off kind of movie. Sort of like a popcorn action movie kind of ride rather than something more meaningful. And, I think Star Wars fans want stories with a little bit more substance behind them. Look, I haven't seen the film yet. I've just seen the trailer like most of you. And I kind of feel that the opinion that I resonate more with is that of Jonathan Sim, entertainment reporter, when he called it a predictable experience, and that it's basically unexciting fight scenes and just CGI monsters. A colourless made-for-TV movie. That's the thing. I actually said this some time ago. This could have made for, a serviceable TV movie if they'd done this just for streaming. And it could have been a good companion movie for the TV series. But I think when it comes to a pure cinematic outing, I think you need something more. I think you need something stronger than this. CGI fest. I suspect, there's going to be lots of CG, lots of cute Grogu and generic looking action. I'm not seeing anything from the film's trailers that leads me to believe that it's going to be a strong installment in the Star Wars franchise. I'm not sure what this is really adding to the Star Wars mythology overall. And, Star Wars really needs a strong movie about now, as much as the MCU does at the present time. And I don't think The Mandalorian and Grogu was really the best idea for a film, for a motion picture, especially when the series was really at its strongest in its first season, Mandalorian season 1, and it only got weaker thereafter in the subsequent second and third seasons. So there you go. We're only days away now from the film's release, but I strongly believe that Lucasfilm and Disney, they'll see out their upcoming Star Wars projects, both in the cinema and on TV. And in time, I do believe that eventually there's going to be a full-on reboot of the Star Wars saga, remaking the whole thing from the very beginning by recasting the original characters. I think it's inevitable. And I think it's really the only place that Star Wars is really left to go. That's what I think is going to happen. I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. Let me know your thoughts on this one in the comments below. It looks like, so far, The Mandalorian and Grogu, that yes, there's been some good reviews there, but it's kind of mixed. And so it just comes across as sort of underwhelming. It even from the positive reviews, it doesn't sound like there's anything in the movie that people weren't expecting, That's going to do it for now. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, hit that like button, share the video out there. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.